All right, and welcome back. And we just did Yertle the Turtle, so we're still in this book, but now we are going to read Gertrude McFuzz. All right, so this is a great story about really appreciating what it is that you have and not being jealous of others just because they have something that is different than you. There once was a girl bird named Gertrude McFuzz, and she had the smallest plain tail ever was. One droopy droop feather, that's all that she had, and oh, that one feather made Gertrude so sad. For there was another young bird that she knew, a fancy young birdie named Lala-Lee-Loo, and instead of one feather behind, she had two. Poor Gertrude, whenever she happened to spy Miss Lala-Lee-Loo flying by in the sky, she got very jealous, she frowned, and she pouted. And then one day she got awfully mad, and she shouted, "This just isn't fair. I have one, she has two. I must have a tail like Lala-Lee-Loo." So she flew to her uncle, a doctor named Dake, whose office was high in the tree by the lake, and she cried, "Uncle Doctor, oh please, do you know of some kind of pill that'll make my tail grow?"
"Tut, tut," said the doctor. "Such talk, how absurd! Your tail is just right for your kind of bird."
Then Gertrude had tantrums. She raised such a din that finally her uncle, the doctor, gave in. And he told her just where she could find such a pill, on a pillberry vine on the top of a hill. "Oh, thank you," chirped Gertrude McFuzz as she flew right straight to a hill where that pillberry grew. Yes, there was the vine, and as soon as she saw it, she plucked off a berry and she started to gnaw it. It tasted just awful, almost made her sick. But she wanted that tail, so she swallowed it quick. Then she felt something happen. She felt a small twitch, as if she'd been tapped down behind by a switch. And Gertrude looked round and she cheered. It was true. 2 feathers, exactly like Lala-Lee-Loo. Then she got an idea. "Now I know what I'll do. I'll grow a tail better than that Lala-Lee-Loo. These pills that grow feathers are working just fine." So she nibbled another one straight off that vine. She felt a new twitch, and then Gertrude yelled, "Whee! Miss Lala has only just 2. I have 3. When Lala-Lee-Loo sees this beautiful stuff, she'll fall right down flat on her face, sure enough. I'll show her who's pretty, I certainly will. Why, I'll make my tail even prettier still." So she snatched at those berries that grew on the vine, and she gobbled down 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And she didn't stop eating young Gertrude McFuzz till she'd eaten 3 dozen, because that's all that there was. Them feathers popped out with a zang and a zing, and they blossomed like flowers that bloom in the spring. All fit for a queen, what a sight to behold! They sparkled like diamonds and gumdrops and gold. Like silk, like spaghetti, like satin, like lace. They burst out like rockets all over the place. They waved in the air and they swished in the breeze. And some were as long as the branches of trees. And still they kept growing. They popped and they popped until long about sundown, when they finally stopped. "And now," giggled Gertrude, "the next thing I'll do is to fly right straight home and show Lala-Lee-Loo. And when Lala sees these, why, her face will grow red and she'll let out a scream and she'll fall right down dead." And then she spread out her wings to take off from the ground. But with all those feathers, she weighed 90 pounds. She yanked and she pulled and she let out a squawk. But that bird couldn't fly, couldn't run, couldn't walk. And all through that night she was stuck on that hill, and Gertrude McFuzz might be stuck up there still if her good Uncle Dake hadn't heard that girl yelp, and he rushed to her rescue. He brought along help. To lift Gertrude up almost broke all their beaks, And to fly her back home, it took almost 2 weeks. And then it took almost another week more to pull out those feathers. My Gertrude was sore. And finally, when all of the pulling was done, Gertrude behind her again had just one. That one little feather she had as a starter. But now that's enough, because now she is smarter. All right, so thank you again for listening to Gertrude McFuzz, and we still have one more to do in the book. So stay with me for one more, or at least come back later for the next one.